Hello everyone, good morning or good afternoon as per your respective time zones. On behalf of entire Mastek Managed Services team, we would like to welcome you all to 22D PPM Advisory Webinar session. This important session is to keep you fully synchronized with new features and functionalities as a part of this quarterly release which Oracle provides. My name is Komal Abel and I am an operations executive at Managed Services team Mastek. Today I am your host for this session. I am glad to introduce my colleague Reena Jetwa, who is a part of vast finance PPM team and Mastek. Today she will take us through all the product portfolio management updates for 22D quarterly release. Today's session is planned for around 45 to 60 minutes and we will make sure to answer all your questions at the end of the session. We have our panelist, Mr. Anay Jain, who will be answering all your questions. Before we move to agenda, let's have a quick look at the disclaimer. I think we are good to go with disclaimer and hence moving ahead with our approach to Oracle update. We would like to convey our approach towards Oracle in a very simpler manner. We will be taking you through vital analysis of 22T updates done by our expert team. This will help you in incorporating new features and updates easily in the system. Also, we will sync you on any bugs and known issues, if there are any. It's good to have an interactive session and hence I would request you all to please ask questions. You can ask questions through chat or question panel. We have kept some time to answer all your questions at the end of the session. And in case we miss to answer them, please don't worry as we would be connecting or responding you back at a later stage to answer all your questions. This is to give you a glimpse of how we have created the structure of this session. List of new features coming in 22D. Detailing on features so you get brief understanding on what new features are all about. Next one is what are the business benefits and the important takeaway for you as a decision maker. There are four components where we have done in-depth analysis of features which we are going to present to you. First one is impact level analysis, which demonstrates the impact on the end user. If it is low impact, then regression testing can be avoided. If it is high, then we need to opt for regression testing. Second one is which is where we all are aware that there are some features which are by default auto-enabled by Oracle. And there are some which we need to opt for. Third one highlights the nature of the feature. There would be certain configurations which may be required or some can be used without any changes. Last one is a quick win. In this term, we used to simply convey that what is ready to use by investing minimum amount of time and what requires significant amount of time and effort to make use of this feature. We would like to know, with the help of a quick poll, which industry does your organization belong to? This will help us in creating more webinar content moving ahead. Launching the poll. Thank you for your response. Now moving ahead. I would like to hand over this to Reena Jetwa. Reena, please unmute yourself and take us through the presentation.
Thank you, Kamal. Welcome to all of you to Oracle PPM webinar for 22D. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. I am Reena Jetwa, PPM consultant from Evosys Mastek. So let's start with the new PPM features introduced in 22D release. In this release 22D grade, Oracle come up with 17 new features. Out of these, four are quick win features for which we do not need to do any configuration when the instance is available after the upgrade. It is available as it is. The next two is quick win opt-in features. For this, we have to do nothing. Once the instance is available after the upgrade, we have to just opt in this feature to use through the offerings, and the rest are not quick win features. They are not available as it is. When the instance is available after the upgrade, we need to do some configuration to use or achieve these features. So overall, there are good new features came in this upgrade. Oracle really focus on some of the key pain areas, and many of these good features they picked from the Oracle Idea Lab. So make sure in future if you have any concern and not possible to fix due to constraint, then you can raise an idea in Oracle Idea Lab, and Oracle will pick up highest voted idea and include in the next release. In this release, Oracle focus on enhancing REST API part so that it gives us the more flexibility to do better integration and to enhance the system. Let's move to all the new features that are part of 22D in the upcoming slides. So first we covers quick win features. As I mentioned, for quick win features, we do not have to configure anything, and it is available as it is once the system is available after upgrade. So without wasting time, we move to first quick win feature, which is from cost management and control. The name of the feature is payroll cost distribution error removal. Earlier, it is not possible to delete, update, or reprocess the transaction in bulk, due to which many transactions were stuck into the payroll distribution interface and not fetched on the project sites. But after this new feature, it is possible to perform deletion or reprocess actions in bulk by use of search results in the manage labor cost page more efficiently with with an added pay element feature attribute. User can filter the error with the pay element filter and reprocess or delete the transaction in bulk. Let's move to other quick win feature, which is from cost management and control. The name of the feature is project cost transaction reversal after person assignment changes. This is an effective feature. User asked many times to me that the cost was booked under wrong assignment and now they want to reverse this cost, but assignment was discontinued. But it was not possible because of the cumbersome process and cost shows unclear picture due to wrong bookings. But after this new feature, it is possible to reverse the cost. Even assignment is not an active. Let's quickly move to the next feature, which is from planning, scheduling, and forecasting. Name of the feature is transaction analysis for project planning resource assignments report. This is a really a good and effort reducing feature. Business always asked which rate was used for resource while budgeting and forecasting. It is normal rate or override rates, which is difficult and time consuming process to find, and for that we have to open multiple setups and multiple windows to verify and answer that. Also, earlier when the business asked for extract error associated with unprocessed cost, it is very difficult to find. It is very difficult to find attributes from subject areas and extract the error from the OTBI. From UI, user can see one error at a time and cannot extract error from the UI side. But after introduction of this feature, this new report released in 22D, this become very easy to find the root cause of error associated with rates, override rates, and costing method or organization costing rules. As the report mentioned, which rate is used by the system against each resource. Also, found the error attached with the unprocessed transaction, and it is possible to simulate the cost processing to find and resolve the error quickly. Let's move to the next feature, which is from Project Management Common. Name of the feature is Additional Attributes added in OTBI. The project attributes for integration with EPM in OTBI. This feature is useful to only those clients who have the integration with EPM. User always asks to me about these two attributes, and finally those two attributes introduced in this release in the project folder of the project management subject areas. So now let's see the quick win opt-in features. For this, we have to opt in this feature once the system is available after upgrade. Let's see the first opt-in feature, which is from planning, scheduling, and forecasting. The name of the feature is Simplified Resource Assignment User Experience for a Financial Project Plan. So, earlier to this feature, labor images are not available, and already assigned resources are also included in the available resources. For the selection, for the again selection of the resource, and when there are more than one person with a similar name, user found it very difficult to add resource and ask solution for that. But now after this feature, it will be much easier to add resource as having image of labor resource, and we can see only those resources which are not already assigned to that task. One can add resource only but cannot remove resource assignment using the assign planning resource to select task page. After enabling this feature, we can found the assignment resource page like this. Let's move to the another opt-in feature, which is from cost management and control. Name of the feature is use transaction date as the expenditure item date for purchase order receipts. Prior to this update, PO receipts used the date captured on the PO as the expenditure item date. But one can enable this feature from the opt-in option and pass the cost accounting and receipt accounting, taking the transaction date as the expenditure date. For example, prior to this feature, if the PO expenditure date is 11th of January and receipt date is 5th of October 2022, then the project expenditure date will be the 11th January 2022. But after opting this feature, if the PO expenditure date is 11th of January 2022 and receipt date is 5th of October 2022, then the project expenditure date will be 5th of October 2022. Let's move to the other features which are not quick wins. As I mentioned earlier, for using of this feature, we have to do some high level configuration after the upgrade. Let's see the first feature of not quick win, which is from cost management and control. The feature name is unprocessed cost drill down from OTBI. This is a really very good and effective feature. User every time looking for this type of feature, which saves their time and effort to find any transaction easily from drill down from the same page. Before introduction of this feature, it is not possible to open unprocessed cost transaction through OTBI. For that, user needs to go to manage cost page and search for that transaction. But now, due to this new feature, we can now add deep link to unprocessed transaction number and open that transaction from OTBI report itself by just a click, and transaction will be open to view or edit the transaction from the same page. This makes the work much easier and faster, and no need to copy details and find it to manage cost page. Let's move to next feature, which is from project management and reporting. Name of the feature is program management communication. The program management is introduced in a recent release by Oracle to align multiple projects in a single umbrella project program. As an enhancement of this program, this feature is included in this release. Through this feature, you can prepare templates like budget versus actual, unplanned cost, margin reports for the reporting purpose. It allows us to publish templates on timely basis and push it to key stakeholders. So it's a good feature to find the overall health of the program. Let's move to the other feature, which is from grant management. Name of the feature is Federal Financial Report Enhancement. Earlier, the residence number was used for Federal Financial Report, which was now replaced with the Unique Entity Identifier UEI to match the government's requirement. So when user generate federal financial report, system selects this UEI number. Okay, let's move to the next um, feature, which is from billing and revenue management. The name of the feature is protect supporting documents from deletion. Many a times, business asked me that they want to restrict document deletion when the contract is in active status, but it was not possible with this delete supporting document privilege. If we add this privilege to user role, that allows user to delete supporting document in any state of contract. But after introduction of this new feature, business can restrict the document deletion by adding a new privilege, delete supporting documents by contract status privilege to the role, uh, which check the contract status and accordingly allow user to delete the supporting documents, so that only draft and under amendment contract status allow user to delete supporting documents. In this way, based on the user roles and through the combination of existing privilege and the new privilege, business can restrict the supporting document deletion. So the next feature, which is also from billing and revenue management. The name of the feature is use updated rich text editor in the enterprise contracts. Earlier, user finds symbols of cut, copy, and paste in the rich text editor. Also finds only a numbering types like 1 to 3 and just one type of bullet. But after this new feature, it modernized these features in the text editor with removing cut, copy, and paste options. Cut, sorry, symbols, and now user can use these functions through the keyboard shortcuts, and also added new series of numbers and alphabets and different types of bullets to give more precise and manageable looks to the text. Next is also from the same group, billing and revenue management. The name of the feature is project contract invoice deletion using a REST API. This feature is useful to those business who use to generate bulk invoices in different systems and integrates it with the Oracle. Prior to this feature, it is difficult to shrink up in Oracle when the other application deletes invoices. And it is difficult to shrink up with the Oracle. But when the invoices are generated through integration from different applications, then REST API gives leverage to delete draft invoices after this new feature. So after this feature's introduction, it became very easier for business to delete bulk draft invoices through the REST API. The next feature is from the same group, billing and revenue management. The name of the feature is the project contract invoice mass release using a REST API. So there's business who releases many invoices on daily basis, and approval is required due to business nature of business. And earlier it is possible to release one invoice at a time, which becomes time consuming process for business. But after this new feature, it becomes very easy for business to release bulk invoices through REST API at a time. This will be more helpful when data migrated from different application through integration. Then, with the help of technical person, user can upload Excel and release mass invoices through the REST API. The next feature is also from cost management and control. The name of the feature cross-charge business unit exceptions in projects using a REST API. When there are number of business units and user don't want to bring cost from each BU, he can restrict the same through the cross-charge BU exceptions. But when the number of BUs are there and user allow just a few BU to park their cost on the particular project, then it becomes tedious task to add all that other BUs on one by one. But after this new feature, it is more it is more time saving and effective to add or delete all these BUs in exceptions in multiple projects through the REST API in a single click. Let's move to the next feature, which is from cost management and control. The name of the feature is project cost adjustment using a REST API. When there are mass adjustment done and lot of transactions were stuck due to failure of some workflow or due to any error, and while doing period closing activities, user found many transactions which are stuck into the system under the pending adjustments. And to cancel those transactions, user needs to open that transaction and go to adjustment tab and cancel that transaction. This becomes more complex and time consuming. Also, it is tedious task to editing expenditure comments while doing similar type of adjustments. But this is now become easier through this new feature. User can cancel pending adjustments in mass through the REST API and also can edit the expenditure comments uh, on the same type of adjustments at a time through the REST API, which expedites the process of period closing. Let's move to the next feature, which is from planning, scheduling, and forecasting. The name of the feature is Project Forecast Planning Options Management using a REST API. I must say this will be a good feature. This feature helps to those organizations who uploads forecast to the system through the other application or integration. Prior to this feature, we can upload bulk forecast through REST API, but planning option cannot be changed, and the system picks all the planning options mentioned in the financial plan type. For that, all the time user have to open the forecast and change the planning option manually if if they are different from the default options. But after introduction of this feature, business can add planning option and can change the default to financial plan type planning options for the forecasters at the time of creation of forecast itself. Okay, let's move to the next feature, which is from the planning, scheduling, and forecasting. The name of the feature is Project Templates Management of Additional Attributes using a REST API. Earlier, if any task any task level attributes need to be changed, delete, or add, user needs to open each task of each template and perform the action on additional attributes, which is more time consuming from UI when there are a huge number of templates and tasks. But now it can be easily possible through REST API for bulk task updating of additional attributes, which saves time to row-wise updating from UI when the number of templates and tasks are high. So, so this is all about 22D features. Please do ask if you have any questions, or please paste the same in the chat box so we can address the same. Thank you for your patience. Would like to hand over to Komal. Please unmute yourself to sum up the session.
Thank you, Reena. It was indeed a very good session and we had a lot of insights. Before we move to question and answer, with the help of quick poll, we would quickly like to note down your area of interest in order to organize future webinars with more value-based content. So here is the poll on your screens. Please do let us know your area of interest. You can select any one, whether it is managed services, innovation technology, chatbox, VBA. Thank you all for your response. Closing the poll. Let's quickly move towards question and answer part. And I would request you to please check if we have any questions.
No questions, I think.
Thank you, everyone. Now let's move ahead. So now we have done with this presentation. What happens next? So in couple of days, you will be receiving a presentation and session recordings on your registered email IDs. In case you would like to know more about these services, you can please get in touch with your support managers or service manager.